rapists. They never freed the slaves. They realized that they don't need to change. They gave us tiny screens. We think we free because we can't see the cage. They knew that race war would be the game they'd need to play. For people to big teams, they used the media to feed the flame.
From two separate sources. All right. Well, welcome back once again. I don't have my coffee. I was about to make it, but I was like, oh, I gotta rush through this. Go figure. The Conservative Coffee Club. I know I did an interview 2 weeks ago and I posted about it and everything, and the footage got corrupted, so I couldn't finish editing it. I was so mad. It was like an hour and a half video, almost 2 hours. But I'm back with just Aram, right? No acronym, no nothing.
No, just Aram. You can call me Ram, whatever you want.
Okay,
Man.
all right.
Just don't call me a Ram or a Rab.
All right, we're back, and so there's a few topics to discuss. The LGBT community is after your kids, apparently, and the Texas Democrat legislatures are rage quitting, like legitimately running away because you don't want to lose a vote is, in Call of Duty terms, just rage quitting. You're just rage quitting. Like but you got to come back. Here's the thing: is you're gonna have to come back eventually. Like, and you're not doing your duty for the people. Like, you're not doing what you were elected to do. Either vote for or against it, but you got to vote. Like, it's one of the very few duties that you're elected to do.
Exactly.
Anyways, so yeah, so all right, so the children are in, hide your kids. The legislatures, and what else? There was one more. Oh, the Cuban revolution or protests going on right now. So we'll touch on these three topics today. We'll go in order, I guess. Starting off with I'm a little late, but the LGBT community coming after your children.
Celebrate Pride on the progress we've made over these past years. There's still work to be done. So to those of you out there who are still working against equal rights, we have a message for you. You think we're sinful? You fight against our rights. You say we all lead lives you can't respect. But you're just frightened. You think that we'll corrupt your kids if our agenda goes unchecked. Funny, just this once, you're correct. We'll convert your children. Happens bit by bit, quietly and subtly, and you will barely notice it.
Man, dude, I mean, when I first saw the little clip of that San Francisco choir song, I thought it was a joke. I was like, nah, this can't be real. And I looked it up and I was like, wow. I mean, I don't have kids, but I have my nephew, I've got, my friends' kids that I'm close with, they're like my kids, and eventually I will have kids. It's nothing against the LGBT community. They said at the start of it, you don't like the way we live, you're after us. Like, no, because I'm from the 90s pretty much. I was born in 88. I'm 33 years old. I've noticed over the years that there's more tolerance, of civilization for the gay community, especially in America. I remember back in the day, what was it? Matthew Shepard, he had that hate crime, against him because he was gay. It's not like that. Nobody gives a fuck what the LGBT community, how they live their life. But when you say you're gonna come after the kids and make them gay.
Yeah, because the language that they used was conversion.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but kids, no, they don't need to be taught to be tolerant of gays and fucking, that they might be gay. No. They don't even, not even if they're straight. No, just kids need to be kids. They need to go climb fucking trees, build forts, color, learn math and science, all that shit. If my son, or future son, when he turns 18 or whatever, decides that he's gay, go, cool, man. Cool. But at 4 or 5, no one's going to be fucking teaching me, you might be gay. Whoa, this is mine. You worry about yours. I don't care what you do with yours, but mine, leave mine alone.
Yeah.
And intolerant and fit, I'm gonna kick
Yeah.
your ass. You know, it's not
Well,
a good
well,
deal.
all this stuff happened during my lifetime. So, I remember, the protests just for gay marriage and all that. Like, it went pretty quickly within the span of 10 years from, we just want gay marriage and, to be left alone to we're coming for your kids. I mean, I don't know that it went pretty fast. I mean, within a 10-year period.
Mhm.
And
It's that, and then also the satanic culture that I see that it's becoming, and just
mhm,
like either you know, decide that we're cool because we're gay, or we're gonna
mhm.
call you a homophobe, we're gonna cancel you. I'm
Well,
not allowed opinion if I don't like something. I'm a
yeah.
homophobe.
Yeah, well, this goes back to the idea that I've always said that wokeness is a religion because they use the language of they use religious language. We're going to convert your children and whatnot. Like that's religious type language, and wokeness is a religion. It's a dogmatic and it's framework, and you don't need the proof, to substantiate your argument, you know in the same way that when it comes to like complicated problems in life, and religious people always want to say, oh well, it's in God's plan. Well, that's a very abstract thing. Like it's a good excuse and whatnot, but like it's abstract. I don't really follow that because I don't follow religion. In the same way, that's called the god of the gaps, right? And whatever
Mm.
gap there is in logic, oh well, it's just in God's plan, it's in God's hands, it's part of God's plan. And in the woke religion, it's like the racism of the gaps. Anything that, well, if they can't explain like for a difference of opinion, oh well, it's because you're racist or you're a homophobe or you're a xenophobe or Islamophobe or whatever phobic you are. It's an attack on your character.
Yeah, too
Yeah.
many.
Yeah, it's attacking your character when you can't substantiate your own argument, following a logical pattern. And it's I don't know, it just it's such religion like, and they don't even see it. Like
Yeah,
it's
no,
funny.
I think they do. They know what the fuck they're doing, and they know that technically, like they can get away with it because if you try and go after them, if you try to say, "Hey, man, leave my kids alone. I'm gonna kick your fucking ass." You bring it like that because yeah, you come after somebody's kids, you deserve to get your ass whooped. But now
Hmm.
you're committing a hate crime. That's a hate crime. Oh no, no, no. Just because you're gay doesn't mean you can't get an ass whooping. You come after somebody. That's not because you're gay. It's because you're coming after, saying you're coming after somebody's kids. I'm not telling people to go commit hate crimes against people, against the LGBT because they're gay. No, no, no.
Hmm.
I can still come after you because you're an asshole. I don't care that they're gay and they have their own sexuality and they want to do it. No, no, no. But when you start talking about you're going to come after somebody's children, fuck you.
Hmm. Yeah. And so yeah, that's I don't know, they got a lot of backlash for it. So they took the original video down. So that's kind of good. Um
Out there and like, so I don't care if you took it down because you got no, you meant what you said. I could see it
yeah.
in y'all meant what you
Yeah.
said.
I mean, well, that's the thing is, so like a lot of people aren't letting it die. Like, we're not gonna let you just try to slide this under the rug and be like, no, like, just forget
No.
about it.
And they would do the same thing towards us if we had said something, like that, like, and we had taken down. No, no, they're not gonna let that. No, we ain't gonna let that shit die either, man. No, no. You said what you
Yeah.
said. You meant it. Come on, own up to your bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I really was just kind
Well,
of blown away at that. I was like, was that?
how do you feel about that? You being a parent.
Well, me being a parent, you ain't coming after my kids, my guy. I mean, I'm not gonna incriminate myself in any kind of what's it called, but you're not coming after my kids. And so, I mean, the whole thing of, oh, it's going to be so subtle, you won't even notice it. Like, no, it's not very subtle. Like, you're putting it in movies and in injecting it into every part of the culture that you can. And so, I mean, I just canceled my Netflix account, the
Blame
other
you.
day because there was a bunch of like LGBT stuff for kids, and I'm like, come on, just leave the kids alone, man. Let them be. So I mean, we got like a massive collection of DVDs. Like I was like, well, we're just going back to DVDs. Like that's what we're gonna do. So we have like like 200 or 300 DVDs or something like that, just of the kids stuff, and then I have like 200 or 300 of like my kind of stuff, or like a little bit more adultish, not like where the kids can't watch, but it's like a little bit more adultish. And so I'm like, well, I mean, I'll just cancel Netflix. I mean,
I don't blame you,
you
man.
know,
I don't blame you. I mean, it's everywhere, which is fine. If y'all want to get y'all's own kind of message out and do it in some kind of positive way, like
yeah,
try to educate people that aren't fully aware about the LGBT community and the good things that they do. But you want to send these kind of messages out? No, 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 no. No, we're gonna draw the line somewhere.
yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I like I said, it went very fast. Like I have no problem with the argument of we just want to be do our thing and be left alone. Fine. But it's no longer you're doing your thing and we want to be left alone. Now it's we have to approve of your behavior, and our children do too. Like no, we don't.
Yeah, and have you seen the new flag, the pedophile flag, or the age is not a big
Hmm.
deal thing flag?
Hmm. Yeah, well, they tried it. They tried it years ago, and I said they were going to try it because when the whole gay thing came along, I was like, well, I I I, I wasn't necessarily homophobic because I hung out with gay people, but when I was a kid, I was just like, don't touch me. Like I could hang out with them, but I was just don't touch me. I don't want to catch the gay. Like, and
Well,
so
that we didn't really know nothing about it.
yeah,
It was
but you're a kid and you're what's called, but but like one of my longest one of my longest friendships is with someone who's gay. Like we've known each other since we were 7, and I love her to death. Like,
yeah.
and still to this day. But
I mean, and my brother's gay, so I've never had a problem with him being
mhm,
gay. I just
yeah,
have a problem that he's a fucking asshole.
yeah. So well, when I was younger, I was like, well, I think this is gonna lead into, you know, dudes who want to pretend to be girls and girls want to pretend to be boys type deal. And everyone said like, oh no, you're crazy, you're crazy. And then the whole trans thing came along, and I was like, well, that went along. I was like, so now I think it's gonna go into like people are gonna start trying to justify pedophilia. And this was when I was like closer to 20. And they're like, oh no, it's not gonna be. And then they tried, and the gay community was like, no, we're not doing that, and kicked it out. And then they basically rebranded it and put it underneath under the trans disguise. So like you have a little like 12-year-old boy pretending to be a girl, dressing up like a girl in front of grown ass men at a gay club and like dancing sexually and stuff like that. I'm like, well, I mean, they didn't do it outright, but they snuck it in there, like, and it's approved.
Yeah, you're right. They did, and to me, it's just it's sick. Not someone being gay and liking another person of the same sex, but no, kids. Come on, man.
Hmm.
What's going on? And you're right. They snuck it in,
Hmm.
and I don't know if you saw that one thing that happened at that spa in California.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
There, that lady was saying there's 2 little girls in there. Like, yeah, I got a problem with that. I got
yeah,
a
just
big
walking around with his schlong out, fucking showing it off to the little girlies. Like, no, bro,
13 and 9 year
no.
old. Oh, some dick going like this at a place where they're not supposed to see it. Like, what the fuck is going on? And that place is trying to defend it. And you see that one white guy come up. Are you talking about a transgender? And she's like, no, I'm talking about a dick. No, and she's like, no, step away. He's like, you're being a dick. It's like, no, I just saw one.
Dude, yeah. No, if any of those women like call their husbands or something like, hey, like you got a hate crime in 3, 2, like,
Mhm.
you know, count
And,
down and
and you know what? I don't think they realize. And one thing I need people to understand: this isn't the whole LGBT community. This
mm-mm.
is, I would say, a small percentage that's just getting the majority of the audience.
Well,
I know.
they're trying to do it under the victimhood thing, right? Oh, I'm a victim, so you leave me alone. That being a victim is in high demand these days. Everyone wants to be a fucking victim.
It's
Yeah, it pays, but I don't know, it's getting intense, and I think what we're gonna start seeing is we're gonna start seeing a real big pushback from a lot of people, like,
yeah.
and not people who are homophobic, just people who are like, you leave our children the fuck alone.
Yeah, well, they're actually going to turn people into being homophobic that weren't homophobic or once were and then
Mhm.
became understanding. Like, I don't think they understand. Like, no, y'all are trying to reverse what actually did happen. Like,
Yeah.
back then in the day, no, nobody liked that shit. No, there were hate crimes. But now,
Mhm.
since we progressed, since the Matthew Shepard thing, there's been the tolerance and understanding has it's gone in their favor.
Mhm.
Now they're trying to turn it around. I don't think they
Yeah.
realize that.
Well, yeah, and I mean, and that's where you find like the reasonable people, like your cousin. He
Yeah,
said, he goes, I'm gay, but I don't consider myself part of that community. Like that's something else. Like, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, it was nice to see a new perspective. Speaking of which, we've scheduled another podcast for that on Sunday on the 25th. And
yeah.
this time I'm gonna record because I recorded in 4K at 30 frames per second. And so an hour and a half of that, just like a phone camera handling that's what corrupted the file. So I'm going to reduce it down to 1080p at 24 frames per second, and we're going to leave it like that. I don't need super high definition. I'm good. I'm just going to do the 1080p. We're good. But yeah, I was so mad, dude. An hour and a half wasted. Like,
Yeah,
I was
well, I
so
told
mad.
you, see, it was so hot. Y'all corrupted the shit. The internet won't even let y'all post it. It was that good.
I was like, dude. But yeah, so all right, so moving on, we're gonna talk about the Texas legislature because I am kind of fucking mad about that. Like that,
Me too.
you
I'm
are
like,
not you are not serving the people who elected you. You
mm-mm. I don't
you were
understand how it's so forth on their side. Like, yeah, you see what they're. I don't know if you saw that video I made. This is how you fight for justice. You see what they just did? Federal Dems, are y'all paying attention? Paying attention for what? We're paying them fucking tax money to do what we need them to do, and they just went on spring vacay 2021 to
mm-hmm.
DC.
Flying private jets, fucking eating Caesar salads, just fucking living it up.
Yeah, 24.
I hope they get arrested when they come back. I really hope they do
I do
because
too.
and because I was listening to Ben Shapiro, and he's a lawyer. He was a lawyer first before he was a podcaster, and he said, yeah, under Texas law, the governor and the majority of the legislature here, if they call for it, they can have them arrested. And so I'm like, yes, do that because
I mean, I don't. I hope they do, and it's not because they're black or Mexican or people of color. No. It's because they walked out on their duties to serve us, the people. You
yeah,
know,
you have very few duties, and that is one of them. Vote against or vote for it, but that is one of the damn duties. Like,
yeah.
perform what you were voted in for. I think they should be gotten rid of, to be honest. Like, everyone who left, no, all right, get out. I don't need like new Democrats. I don't care, but get those ones specifically out.
Yeah, exactly. And then this whole new Green Deal bullshit, what could happen to the Texas grid? Oh, but y'all are getting on some pretty fancy private planes.
Mhm.
Shit, those look pretty expensive.
No mask either, not following the little COVID registration, that they want to be fucking promoting. I have not seen people wearing masks at all. Like, it's so
Oh,
funny. Like, you have the very few like couple like that'll like here and there that'll wear masks, but other than that, everyone else is like, I'm good. Like,
that's the way it was today at the that job fair. I was so happy, but because I was thinking it was Dallas. I thought they were still on that shit. Everybody, but no, you didn't see anybody wearing a mask. Only a few fist bumps. Everyone
mhm.
else. That was the first time I've shook hands in over a year with strangers. So many. I was so happy. Just a few fist bumps. And there was this one liberal lady there. She didn't give me even the fist bump. She was just like, no, I'm good. Like, I shook her coworker's hand. And I was thinking, okay, maybe she'll be cool with it. She's like, no, I'm good. And I was just looking at her like,
oh, so speaking of which, so are your travel restrictions lifted?
do what?
Are your travel restrictions lifted?
No, I mean, I just gotta get permission,
Oh, okay, for sure.
I was like, there's a job fair opportunity. She was like, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, no, this is for work opportunities. They're like, yeah, go ahead.
Gotcha. Okay. Damn. I was gonna say I'd really like to do this in person, man.
Well, I mean, that's part of it. You could pay people, right? So technically, that would be a job. I mean, you're
Okay. An odd job. All right, fine.
Yeah. I gotta make all the extra money I can. If you want to pay me for, coming in for an hour, $5, $10, I mean, that's money that I could use towards probation.
Fair enough. Okay, yeah, I didn't know. I didn't want to say it on the air. I was just like, like the travel restriction. But all right, for sure. Yeah, I don't know, man. These people are ridiculous, and then they want to grandstand on the news talking about how brave they are, and our sacrifice is nothing, compared to the people who stormed North. What sacrifice, bro? First of all, what sacrifice? I'd like to know, what was the sacrifice you made? You didn't. You abandoned your duty as a legislative official. That's all you did. What sacrifice?
That and just the amount of hypocrisy, from the private jets to the not wearing the mask, and then they're being put in these fancy hotels. You know how much per diem they get a day just for doing what they're doing right now? It pissed me. Found out. I was like, what the fuck?
They should have just cut their pay as soon as they left. Cut the pay for, and don't let them get paid for all the time that they're out there. Then they can make a sacrifice. Then they can say it's a sacrifice. But until then, they're still getting paid.
Yeah, well, that, and on top of them, getting that per diem, for traveling, they're like, hey, go support our GoFundMe account or our PayPal, send some money here to help us fight this while we're here in DC. You want me to send you some goddamn money so you can go fucking Biden's little titty and fucking party around in DC, fly around in private jets? Fuck you.
Eat shit. I don't know. Eat shit. I'm cool, dude. You can get your ass to work. Do something. Do what you were elected to do. That shit makes me so mad.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm hoping that maybe it'll wake people up. Like you see how these people, they really care about people of color, and they have a chance to debate and maybe change what they want that they say will help them. But no, they run because they really want it to stay in place.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just to conclude that part, I really hope they get arrested when they come back.
I do too. I'll laugh my ass off, So,
and then next up and lastly, because I'm trying to keep this short because I am tired. It's been a long week. I still got to go to work in the morning. But lastly, the Cuban protests going on. It's just amazing. It's so amazing how their language has switched so fast on immigration, on illegal immigration, especially. Like now you want to follow the law, my guy. Like all 4 years of calling this man racist, who actually, by the way, if you watched all the speeches, because I was thinking about it, if you watch all the speeches, he actually said he never said y'all shouldn't be coming. He never said that. What he said was, if you want to apply for asylum, do it through the port of entry. You can do it through the port of entry. And he created an agreement with Mexico saying that, all right, if the people coming from all those other countries, just allow them to have safe haven in Mexico while we're putting their cases up for the asylum. As well as, we just need to know who's coming in. He never said don't come. He said we just need to know who's coming in.
Exactly. I don't know why people were tripping. I'm like, yo, this is our house, and you just want to leave the fucking front door open, say, let whoever the fuck come in. Like, no, I had a problem with that. That's why I was like, yeah, front fucking wall.
Yeah,
You
and so they let the southern border get so bad to where Kamala Harris finally had to say, "Don't come, don't come."
Yeah,
But now they have an influx of Cuban immigrants trying to float across shark-infested waters,
yeah.
100 miles, just using the current on an old 1955 Chevy to try to get here. And they're talking about, you're going to be turned away. We're going to give you back to Cuba. Like, well, one, that's a death sentence for them because, that's the difference. That's the real difference. Like, the people coming from Mexico, it's really just a geographical advantage, and that's why they come here, because they know it's a better economic opportunity. Like, it's just a geographic advantage. For Cubans, they're actually fleeing a communist dictatorship. And if you send them back, that's a death sentence for them. They are legitimately going to be executed for attempting to leave.
Mm-hmm. Well, that, and think about it too. There's a reason why they want the ones that are coming from the southern border to come in, but what I think they don't want the Cubans coming from Cuba right now coming, because think about it, the Cubans, they're escaping communism. What are they trying to put in place right now? The ones coming from the southern border, they really don't know any better. Yeah, we can got their votes. Them, no, they know what's going on, what we're trying to do. Y'all stay over there. Y'all stay over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's the thing, is that the Mexican immigrant, or the Mexican illegal immigrants who are fleeing here, don't understand that their government is a communist government. They just think it's a corrupt government. They don't understand that it is communist. They don't understand that. The ones from Cuba understand that, and that's why when they come here, they love America. Like, and it's so crazy to see them flying our flag in their protests. It's like when Hong Kong did it. Like, when they think of freedom and liberty, they think of the United States and they fly our flags. Like, that to me is just crazy. Like,
and now everybody's talking shit about our country, but look, the ones that are truly oppressed by communist governments, what are they doing? They're coming to the place that you're saying is such a horrible place. Now, why is that?
Mm-hmm. And I think, man, we should have a trade system, man. Everyone who wants communism, go to Cuba. We'll trade you for someone who loves America. We'll trade you for a Cuban who loves America.
I'm definitely down with that. I don't know if you saw that other video I made the other day of that one liberal snowflake talking about how, I hate America. I don't want to stand up next to you. Well, pack your shit and fucking go. Trade her first for one of those people,
Yeah, for me, walk the walk, man. If you really hate this country so much, if it's really that terrible, go somewhere better, boy. Go somewhere better.
But you can't say that, though, because that's racist. Okay, well, no, it's not.
Because even the white people who are, oh, this country is so bad. Fuck you. This country has afforded me opportunities that I'd never have anywhere else. Get out of here.
Exactly. But because of this, you and me, no, we're supposed to be oppressed, and they get mad, both the minorities and the whites on that side.
And I'm talking about these liberal white college students who have been indoctrinated into by their professors into thinking that socialism and communism is cool. Like, I'll trade you for a Cuban who's brown or black, who loves this place, and you love go live where they live. I want the brown person who loves America over here. The white people who hate it, you can get out. Like, exactly. you can go. So it has nothing to do with race. It has to do with the love of our country, and I love my country. That's a big difference between conservatives and liberals. Well, another one of the big differences is, it doesn't matter who's in charge. We love our country. Like, Biden's the president right now. I still love my country. That doesn't change. When Trump was the president, Democrats hate the country. Like, everything that Trump does is a reflection of the country, and the country needs to be torn down and rebuilt from the bottom up. And conservatives, when the Democrats in office, obviously, and we have a crazy cackling fucking Joker lady as vice president, I still love this country. Like, this country is the best country that's ever been. Like, we're by no means perfect, but we are the best.
Yes. Yeah, there's a reason why people all over the world, I don't care what anyone says, then why do people still risk their lives to come here if this is such a shithole like you're trying to make it seem to be? You know, if
I
you don't
know.
like it, get and leave.
I love it. I honestly love the big logical gap in that we're the worst country, one of the worst countries on the face of this planet, but also we should let everybody come here. Like, why?
Mhm.
If
Yeah,
we're so bad, why?
yeah, and like the squad, AOC in particular, you know, I don't dislike her because she's a woman. So for everybody, you know, like, oh, could you gender? No, no, no. It's not because she's a woman. It's because she's an asshole. Okay. And she advocates for so many people just to come over here and she wants to get them so many benefits, you know, free money. It's like what they passed today. There's going to be a good amount of illegal immigrant, undocumented people here that are going to be getting a lot of taxpayer money. Like you couldn't give that to American citizens that were white, black, Hispanic,
Mm-hmm.
Asian that do need that money. Like you want to give everybody money and help, right? But you want to give it to people that aren't citizens here. Fuck you.
Well, I love how they're so quiet now. The whole
Oh yeah.
squad's quiet. When Trump was in office and they had, strong border security and everything, she's over here, posting pictures of her in a white dress. The terrible concentration camps. Oh, and now that there was a bigger problem than ever there when they were stuffing people like sardines in them little plastic cages. And now that we got Cuban immigrants actually fleeing an actual communist dictatorship as actual political refugees, nothing to say. She has nothing to say. Okay.
Yeah, I hope her and the rest of the squad that get voted out. They're really pissing me off,
Well,
especially you
well,
know.
from what I'm hearing, man, it's gonna be a really bad year for them in 2022.
I mean, I hope so, man. But you know, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. But you know, they've got that thing so set up for where they can do whatever they want, and like, you know, take a look what happened in the presidential election.
Mm-hmm.
They learned from them, like, oh, we need to cover up our tracks, this and that. I
Well,
don't know.
that's why Texas is passing all these voter security laws. Like, you have to
Exactly.
actually prove you have to prove who you are, and that's perfectly fine. I don't see the problem with that.
You read the legislation for that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. In one of my previous videos, I read through the fucking 79 pages or 89 pages, whatever it was. Oh God, that video was painful. It was painful because I rewatched it and I'm like, God, I'm spending most of the time reading and I'm like, like I cut out big chunks. Like there's a big chunk of like 20-30 minutes where I'm just fucking reading. I'm like, okay. And then I had to cut out that entire chunk to get to where like, okay, so this is what it says. Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, one of my I think my first or second Spillin the Beans episode talks about the Georgia voting law and all that. But yeah, I read the legislation. All of it is like expanding early voting, expanding hours, expanding hours on the weekends, so that way people can vote on the weekends, making it mandatory that they have to open at least on Saturday or Sunday on the weekend, incentivizing employers to give people more time off so they can go vote, like all that stuff. But you have to show your ID, or you have to have a voter ID, like in order to vote, like that.
Something or a bill with your name and address on it that you can, you know, it's not hard for people to get an ID. For them to say that people of color, it's hard for them to get an ID. That's the fuck. It's such an insult. I don't understand how people like, yeah, that's racist. Like, no, they're saying that you're stupid and you don't know how to get an ID in your own country. Like, wake up, people. Wake
Mm-hmm.
up. They don't
Yeah.
care about it. They're calling you stupid to your face, and they're trying to get legislation passed creating a narrative saying, no, they're stupid.
Yeah, it's the soft bigotry of low expectations. They think so lowly of us that we can't go to the DMV and get a fucking ID. Like,
yeah. I don't know.
brown and black people are so dumb. Like, we're just so dumb. We're like little infants that they need to take care of.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how people don't see it. I mean, I don't know how I didn't see it for so long. I mean, I finally woke up and I just see it now blatantly. I'm just like, how are other people not seeing this?
Mhm.
You know, people want to feel oppressed and that they'll never make it because of the racism and, you know, do what you do, but speak for yourself. I'm not oppressed. No, I can accomplish anything I want in this country. This is not holding me back. This is what is holding everybody back. A defeat mentality that has been indoctrinated by the Democrats of oppression. So if you want to feel that way, cool, but speak for yourself.
Yeah. And I mean, well, that's what all right, we'll touch on one more thing. The critical race theory thing. All right. So that is one thing that where they're trying to get it implemented. It went so fast from it's not in schools, it's only a law theory, to this is the actual, this is teaching kids the actual history. There's not actual history. It's race essentialism is what it is, and teaching white kids that they're guilty for something they've never done, and that black kids that they're victims of something that they've never been a victim of. That's all that is. And I don't know that. I mean, and the reason why I say that because they like to frame it like that, right? This is a true fucking version of history. It's not. Like, I mean, they already frame it bad enough to, I mean, about the horrors that of the American, the founding fathers and all. They already focus on that enough, I would say, because I grew up kind of having a little bit of a like a not hatred, but like a little bit of a dislike towards white people. Like for a while, I had like a little bit of a dislike towards them. I was like, like I'm, like you're, all you people are like slaveholders, and like I mean, it's a stupid way to think, but that's how they have you thinking. Like they focus very heavily on the horrors of our history, like, and every country has a horrible history because all of humanity had a horrible history. Like if you look all throughout time, we've done horrible things. I mean, it's not like it was new or anything like that, or we're specifically unique in that, in slavery and all the horrible shit that we've done. Like no other country did that too. We are unique in that we created something that supersedes government. The Constitution and the Bill of Rights, those supersede government. Those are made to protect the people from the government, and they're now trying to frame it as in, oh, it's made to protect the government from the people. Like, in so far as the reference, oh, January 6th, January, the worst thing since the Civil War. I don't know. I was there for 9/11. I watched 9/11.
Yeah, I remember people like jumping out of the windows at the top of the fucking see that slow video, and it's just like, really?
Yeah, I remember 9/11. My parents remember Pearl Harbor. Like, I don't know. I think there's been worse things. Like, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. They're really getting me frustrated these days. But I was telling my cousin this. We need more people like what we're doing right now and what he does. Whether or not we have a large following or not, no, just the more people to speak out, the better. Even if it's just one or two people that are listening, and it helps them wake up, cool. And if not, no, just getting the word out. We need to stop being so afraid to not speak out because they're going to cancel us. No. Yes, there is a price to pay for freedom in your First Amendment. But think about all those that have given the ultimate sacrifice for us to have that right. What better way to honor them than actually use it to save this country?
Yeah. And I think that's a good wrap up right there, man. That's a pretty good closing statement. Thank you for joining the podcast again. We will definitely do it again because I honestly got to start making this content more and more consistent. I'm so inconsistent.
Got a pretty busy schedule, man. So I applaud you for what a hard worker you are. That's what the American dream is all about. Think about it. You could be in Cuba and not have a job that's you're not grinding the hours too. How wonderful is that you do have that.
Living off of like $1 something a month. It's crazy out there. But all right, well, prayers for the people in Cuba, man. Hope they get here. And thank you for coming on. And you guys have a good night. Everyone like and subscribe. Follow my boy on Instagram. Follow him on TikTok. He's on TikTok, makes a lot of videos. And we'll see y'all in the next one.
Peace.
They never freed the slaves. They realized that they don't need the chains. They gave us tiny screens. We think we free because we can't see the cage. They knew that race war would be the game they need to play. For people to big teams, they used the media to feed the flame.